Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. Today is technically it's still day 6 of the 14-day video a day challenge for the month of June. Or is it day 5? Because in my Xbox conference video that I did, I said it was day 5 when it was actually day 6. And oh shit, now that you mention it, it's past midnight. So wouldn't this be classified as day 7? Okay, you know what? Fuck it. We're dealing with all kinds of different time zones right now. As of the time of this recording, it is still Monday in the West Coast. So that's what we're going to do for this video. 2 in 1 day. Now, originally, this was going to be a review and recap of the Square-Enix press conference. But I realized as I was, I guess just mentally preparing myself, I was talking a lot more about Final Fantasy VII Remake than I was the entire conference. So I felt I might as well just do a video on that itself. And if you guys want to see just a full recap of what I thought of the conference, comment down below. Let me know. I'll probably upload that later on in the week, maybe tomorrow before the Nintendo Direct or maybe after it. And in the background, as I'm sure you can hear, I'm currently playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. No shock to anyone if you've been following me on social media. I've been obsessed with this game for the past couple days. I know I'm rather late when it comes to it, but it finally clicked with me after owning it for like a year and a half. I finally realized why so many people really do love Breath of the Wild. I have my complaints with it. It's not a perfect Zelda game by any means, but goddamn, it's so addicting. Anyways, let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake, because that game has, as I try to put my Switch into sleep mode, there we go. That game has had a big showcase, just in general, in terms of like public awareness. There was the State of Play reveal not too long ago, I believe like a month ago. And the following night, or the previous night actually, at the Final Fantasy conference, they unveiled the release date in addition to a new trailer. So right then and there, I'm thinking to myself, interesting. Because when have you seen Square-Enix ever do it this big for a game like that? Especially one that's been MIA for a long time and it's had all the production problems. The very next day, I half expected them just to show off that trailer again. And they did. An extended trailer. In addition to a full-on gameplay demonstration. Wow. That's surprising, to say the least. So one of my biggest issues I've had with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I mean, despite the fact that we're going on 4 years and they had barely shown anything about the game up until now, was how the game was going to play. Originally, they came out and they were talking about how it's going to be a Final Fantasy VII for a modern audience, and just considering the way Japanese developers have chased trends as of late, I didn't like the sound of that, especially with how Final Fantasy 15 was shaping up. I just thought it was just going to be a 15 clone, more or less. And the gameplay that they showed off in 2015 really didn't give me that much hope in it. But, I thought to myself, the game is still far off. They got another 2 years to work on it. Little did I know that 2 years, when I thought it would release in 2017, as part of the 20th anniversary, turned into 5 years. But that's neither here nor there, because the game is coming out in March 2020, at least the first part. But one thing I loved about the Square-Enix conference is that literally every single potential issue you could have had, every question that you have with the gameplay, they answered it. And they streamlined it to the point where it's like, we're explaining everything to you like you are a freaking kindergarten. So they literally explained how it works in terms of combat, how the ATB system is used, how it's not just an hack and slash action game. They've actually got some strategy to it. So in theory, it is a Final Fantasy VII for a modern audience, but it's different in a lot of ways. And honestly, I mean, the more and more I see the gameplay of it, I think I'm actually on board with it. I've got nothing against turn-based combat in 2020 when this comes out. Persona 5, one of my favorite games of the generation, is turn-based combat. Handled very well, and nobody had a problem with that. But I'm open to this approach because they still do have some strategy, provided it actually just sticks the landing and it doesn't just turn into a hack and slash game. Because we've seen these, they pimp out these games and they say, yeah, it's going to be very strategic, when literally you can just hack and slash and then, press X, press square to win or whatever, But I like what I see with this. The boss battle in particular, I like how you could take down different parts of him, and actually does matter in the game. I love how you can take cover during the combat. I know all this stuff sounds very weird, but it's just so surreal because I remember playing, like literally I'm playing Final Fantasy VII on my Switch right now, just to prep myself for the remake, because I was thinking, yeah, the remake's probably coming 2021, 2022. So I downloaded the game on the Switch and just going through all that stuff and then seeing it recreated and done differently, but it's still, it feels right. It's just like, it was mind blowing, mind boggling. I couldn't believe it. And I really like where the combat is going, which is very surprising to say the least, because I thought I for one would hate it. But it's just so simple and easy and straight to the point. Unlike Final Fantasy 15, which was just, they tried to be, this is just like, we're going to make an action game for the generation, and just ended up being so, but yeah, it seems like all the characters are going to play very differently, which is very good. Tifa to Cloud to Barret to Aerith, that's very awesome. And just from what we've seen, the scale and the scope of the game, it looks very nice. Now, it remains to be seen how alive the world of Midgar is going to be, because Final Fantasy 15, again, I have to use this as a point of reference, was an open world game. It was a very big game, but that world was dead. Like, there was barely anything for you to do in it, that it might as well have been linear or like hub based. Final Fantasy VII Remake offers a unique opportunity where they can actually make the world of Midgar feel alive, and introduce all these side quests and, just like the modern things that you see in games. Because Final Fantasy VII was a very ambitious game. And the fact that they said it's episodic, when it first came out, I was like, okay, I don't buy that. But the more I replay it, I'm like, okay, I can see how this would work, especially now that they have the opportunity to actually make it believable. They have this huge world and they can actually do stuff with it. And from what I understand, the first part of Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be all the stuff in dealing with Midgar. I don't know, like when they said it was going to be 2 Blu-ray discs, whether that meant this version is going to come with 2 Blu-ray discs and that encompasses part 1, or they just mean it's going to be 2 parts, 1 Blu-ray disc for Midgard, and then in 2021 or 2022, that's when they're going to release part 2. So I assume that's what they meant. I'm not sure. Maybe something was lost in translation, or you guys can comment down below and let me know. But I think that this will be really cool because, like I mentioned before, they can go back and expand upon some of the things in Final Fantasy VII that they couldn't for whatever reason, like developmental issues, budgetary issues, just things dealing with other characters. We have an opportunity to explore them. And now with the advent of voice acting and dialogue, we can actually see unique perspectives, like how Avalanche, their whole point of view and how that's reflected with these characters. We can see that in this game. Characters like Yuffie and Vincent, we can see them in this game and see them play a bigger role. So while it might not be a remake in its beat for beat, I actually welcome that, because I always said, if they are going to remake Final Fantasy VII, why not include all the stuff that's encompassed Final Fantasy VII in the past 20 years? So maybe throw in some stuff from Crisis Core, one of my all-time favorite games, which needs a freaking remaster. We need it. We need it. Comment down below if we need it. Maybe some of the other stuff that we've seen that has spawned since Final Fantasy VII. It's going to be really, really interesting. And honestly, I'm excited for it, which is very strange because I for the most part lost faith in like big budget Square-Enix games that weren't Dragon Quest. Those type of games are very self-contained, so you know what you're getting with those experiences. And every now and then they occasionally put out a gem like The World Ends With You or Octopath Traveler. But for the most part, they're main teams like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, I always thought they were squandering their potential. Final Fantasy VII Remake doesn't look like that. But like I said, it remains to be seen. While I am excited for it and it looks really good, I'm just kind of worried to see how they execute it, because Final Fantasy 15 looked good, but the way they executed it, it was just like, yikes. So we'll see what happens. Like, they've already got the $330 collector's edition up, which is yay. Great. Afro Senju, bro, why? This man straight up said, I closed my eyes and I just hit pre-order. But I'll just be sticking to like the standard $70 steelbook one. You know me, I love my steelbooks. And yeah, like I said, I can't wait to see what else they show off from this game, because it seems like potentially they could be firing on all cylinders, and I really, really want this to be the game. I really do. It's just, I have my reservations about Square, but we'll see as it goes. But for the time being, I'm impressed. And I have no qualms coming on camera and admitting that. So from now until March 2020, we'll see what else they have in store for us. Anyway, from me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out. Like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.